A form of writing we use every day wouldn't be possible without the civilizing force of Africa. What up, African world? It's your boy Home Team here. I'm back at it with another video of African history, culture, and worldview. And remember, you can gain access to full courses, sources, and exclusive videos on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. We owe some elements of Western civilization, not to ancient Greece, but to a more ancient civilization in the continent of Africa. One of the most valuable instruments of civilization throughout history was writing, and a people group within the continent of Africa was pivotal to the development and advancement of writing for much of the world. Today, we call these people the Egyptians. This monumental civilizing force drove the society into greatness, recording its historic events and being one of the first, if not the first people, to tell their story in writing. So who do the Egyptians say gave them this writing? According to Egyptian mythology, the Egyptians credit their invention of writing to Thoth. Thoth was known as a scribe of the gods and invented the Medu Neter. Now the Medu Neter is the writing of the Egyptians today known by its misnomer, hieroglyphics. The Medu Neter is very, very old, and because Thoth invented it, according to the Egyptians, we can express ourselves in English writing today. Here's how the writing from the continent of Africa informed our writing today. It all began when the Phoenicians first laid eyes on the Medu Neter in or around 1200 BC. We can credit the Phoenicians because they saw the value of Medu Neter and literally copied it to use for their civilization. Most people aren't aware, but according to the scholars, the Phoenician alphabet is derived directly from the Egyptian Medu Neter, or what we call hieroglyphics today. The Phoenician alphabet became one of the most widely used writing systems spread by Phoenician merchants across the Mediterranean world, where it evolved and was assimilated by many other cultures. The Phoenicians became the catalyst for the spread of an African writing form. From there, the African-derived Phoenician script created the Aramaic alphabet, which later became modern Arabic script, and the most venerated in the Western world, the Greek alphabet. Surprisingly, the Western world's most beloved civilization got its writing from the continent of Africa, something we tend to smooth over in this part of the world. Herodotus appears to be the first Greek scholar to conclude that Greek writing came from Egypt via the Phoenicians who settled in Thebes. In reference to Thebes, Herodotus says, "At first the script which all Phoenicians used, then, as time went on, these descendants of Cadmus changed, with the language, the letter shapes also. The Ionic Greeks, who were then living around Boeotia, learnt the letters from the Phoenicians and took them over, reforming a few, but still called them Phoenician letters." So basically we have a direct source from a Greek himself who states that the Phoenicians changed some of the shapes of the Medu Neter. I think it's pretty cool that the Phoenicians were influenced by an African writing form and essentially spread it across Arabia and Europe. The Greek alphabet, which was ultimately derived from the Medu Neter, was then carried over by Greek colonists to the Italian peninsula, where it gave rise to a variety of alphabets used to write the Italic languages. One of these became the Latin alphabet, which was spread across Europe as the Romans expanded their empire. And that's where we get to us today. So essentially, as the Romans conquered Northern Europe, they brought their writing with them, influencing most if not all of Northern Europe via the Latin script. And as some of you may know, the Latin script informs our writing today. Whether you're writing a letter to a loved one, a check to pay your bills, or just sliding in the DMs, all of that derives straight from the continent of Africa. It brings a lot more meaning to the fact that Africa is the cradle of civilization. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, you can support the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.